Hello, I'm Joan. This is Joan's sewing room. I'm back. I'm now that I have this quilt backing is sewed together. I am going to iron it. I'm using this wool ironing board thing that I got. Is this right here. And I'm just putting it down on my board and using a little bit of this spray, because you're supposed to use a steam iron on it, but this doesn't steam. So, and I kind of messed up my other iron, so with that steam got on my iron, so I've got to clean it. So I'm just using this little iron I have for piecing right now. So I hope your day's going good. Mine is so far. We've been harvesting corn off of our corn plant stalks, and our crop is like maybe a month ahead of like the West Coast. And because I think, well, for one thing, we start off early. I'm starting my plants in, well, this year I waited. I usually start them in November, but I actually did wait, I think, until January to start my arrow gardens and getting my plants sprouted and into pots. So our tomato plants are huge and they're starting to ripe. We've gotten like 3 tomatoes so far. Our corn is ripening. We've been eating corn. And my long beans are ripening, growing and ripening. So I already put up my first batch of long beans. I blanch them and then freeze them. You blanch them and then you put them in ice water. And then I just dry them out a little bit, and then I put them in gallon bags and freeze them. And that way, you know, like in the winter time, I have them there. And I use the long beans. They're about this long. Some of them are that long, depends on how long you leave them on the vine. And I use them in everything. All my cooking, stews, you know, whatever you want to add string beans to, or stir fries. So they're good to have, because if you don't have any other greens, it's a good staple. And they don't taste like your normal string beans. You know how some string beans you get are just like, I don't know, they just have a bitter taste. These don't. It's a good bean. I like it. It looks like a giant long string bean. That's what it is. Oh, come on. Let's iron nicely here. I didn't really even open up the seam. I'm just trying to get it pressed. Let me see here. So this spray here is for, you know, if you have wrinkles and you're having a hard time getting a wrinkle out of your fabric, you just spray that on there and it'll do it. It's kind of like a starch, I guess. But it's for fabric. I mean, well, all starch is for fabric. So unless you're using it on your walls or something, but anyway. I'm just trying to set the seam. That's all I'm doing here. Setting the seam. as they say. And I put up my first 5 quarts of pickles too. Past couple of days. I didn't film that. You know, sometimes I think, well, I should film that, but I didn't do that. Next time. But I made bread and butter pickles. I don't know. I had just been, I know, well, recently I heard somebody was saying that when you do pickles, you should do them, when you buy the pickles, or usually like the farmer, when they harvest their cucumbers, then that day they make it into pickles. I didn't. I don't, you know, I don't have enough. I mean, we bring in pickles, cucumbers, and they're not your normal size pickle because it only takes like 2 days to get this big. You know, you see it, they're about that, like that, you know, and you go, okay, I'll just get one more day. And then you go back out there and they're like this, and they're about yay big around. So I had to cut them down. I cut them down and I soaked them in salt water and for 3 hours. You know, you can do it from 3 hours to 24 hours. And I forgot one step. You're supposed to put ice on them. And I think the ice is to get it to crisp. It gets your cucumbers crispier. I guess, yeah, that's what they say. I failed to do that. But right at the end, I read it. So I threw it in real quick onto them and let them sit there while I was preparing the jars and everything. So I haven't tried it yet. I haven't ate any yet. And I do have lots of pickles left over from last year. Well, actually, I have 1 quart left for sweet pickles. These were bread and butter pickles. And I want to do some dill. It seems like every time I do dill, they come out too salty. Some people like them that way, but I mean, I don't mind the salts. Well, I just don't want them real salty, you know. I want to be able to taste the flavor. And so next time I do dill pickles, I need to wash them, rinse off that salt as much as possible. So that's what I need to do. And so yeah. So you can enjoy them, you know. If they're too salty, how are you going to enjoy something like that? Although my neighbor said they loved them. That's good. I'll give them some more jars of salty pickles. There's certain things that I don't like having to buy at the store, like pickles. Especially if I know I can make it. If I know I can preserve them, you know. So that and making my own milk. And okay, I think I'm good. I think I've ironed this whole thing. All right, so let's turn this off and put it over here. Now, let's see where we are. So I think it's, what was it? It was 44 plus 5. So I went 49 in length. And then I added another 5 on top. So 49. So it's actually longer. Actually longer. It's longer and wider. So let's see how much longer it is. I didn't do a very good ironing job, did I? 52 inches long. And then it's 50 inches wide. It's almost a complete square, so that's pretty cool. Let's see how it works with the top over it. Just to see what it looks like with the top and how much we have a hangover on. Real quick. And then we'll get on to the batting. Sometimes I do giant quilts just on this. That's a real fun thing. Trying to put the backing or the batting or sandwiching the batting between two giant quilt. Okay, I guess it doesn't really matter. But I want to see the top. Okay. Kind of wonky because it's the way I sewed it, I guess. So yeah. Oh, yeah, I got lots there. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. So okay. I thought this right here was the end, and I thought, how could that be? But it's actually, this is the end. All right. So I can even move it over a little bit. So yeah, that's going to be good. And plus, this is the bottom, so I have a lot more here on the end. So that's all good. All right, so now we're going to measure out the batting. And so these can go over here. Nice batting. It's not real thick. I don't really like using really thick battings. This is cotton. I like cotton. You know, especially because we live here in Georgia, it's so hot, and we don't really need the thickness of the quilt. So, you know, like, you can get poly fiber fill, and it's in quilt, it's in batting, and you can use that, but it's really, really thick, and it's really thick, and yeah, it's really nice, but I don't use that. I use cotton. I just think it just works out fine. I like this. Soft, it's thin, but it works. Okay, so no, it's not there, so let's measure this out. Hopefully it'll work. Hopefully, hopefully. Hopefully, hopefully, hopefully. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is 60. Oh, this is like 61 inches wide. So we only need like 44. So it's like, we can cut it off here at 49. Or no, that's the length, huh? About 50. Because we're adding 5 to it, so. So I might just leave the length there. Leave the width. I'll leave the width there. So what I'm doing here, can you see? Okay, I'm going to put it over here so you can see. I'm going to measure the length that we need, that I need to make this quilt with this batting. Okay, now, so it was 30, so this is 44 and 5, 45, 44, 49, 50. Instead of measuring, I'm just going to do a visual. So I'm going to make it as wide as the bottom going to be. Now you might think that this is going to be a waste, because once you get it all quilted, you get that quilt quilted, then you got to trim it off. So it is a waste. There is a waste. But that's how you do it. So there is a waste. Wish it wasn't that way, but it is. So since this is wider and longer than the quilt, then I'm going to cut this batting the same width and length as the backing. And I figured I would just fit it to this like this. Must be a pin in there or something. Like this. And then I will do it over here. You see me? My chair's on my way. Can I sit down for a minute? Yeah, I'm gonna sit down. Okay, let's pin all this. Actually, I'm just clipping it right now. So my baby chickens are now 8 weeks old, and they look like teenagers. And I still have one with a crooked beak. I haven't trimmed it yet. It's like a scissor. Oh, sorry, I get it. I feel like I have a bug in my nose or something. It's called scissor beak. I only have one of them. She's a Americano. Starting to learn it. Americana, and her beak is like this. Now they say that the beaks are like fingernails, and so you can trim them. So it's just a matter of catching her and, you know, like put a towel around her so she can't get away. And then like my husband would hold her, and then I would grab her, you know, hold her head and try to trim the beak a little bit. And then you use like a sander or something or a file, nail file, to file it. I just haven't done it, you know. Somebody told me, oh, just let nature take its course and she can just survive. She's surviving. She's bigger than all the other chicks, but you know, she also is eating more because I think since her beak doesn't go like this, like it's supposed to do, well, it doesn't go like that because that's an alligator, right? I mean, it does do that. You know, it does open like that. You know, when they're going after bugs and stuff, and then they swallow. But, so yeah, so it needs to be trimmed. And like I said, somebody told me just, you know, leave it alone, and she'll have to learn to live with it. But it just doesn't, to me, it's like, how is she going to catch bugs? You know? They have to catch bugs, and how is she going to do that? I just dropped all my clips. Yeah, oh, that's what it was in there. It was a big old needle. It's poking me. Okay. I know. Okay, I'm gonna stand up and do it the right way. Ouch. Oh, I just broke one. Excuse me. I just gotta pick all these out of here before I break them all. They break really easily. Okay. Well, you know what? I thought that this would have, I must have just, instead of buying a twin, I must have bought a throw size. I don't know. Guess I'll have to get another one. I have another quilt to make. Actually, I have I have I have to finish that one. So that one's going to be like a king size. And then I have 2 more queen size and a throw to do. So stick around. We'll get them done together. And then I have some small ones to do too. I have 2. I have this one to finish off, and then I have that kimono one that I did 15 years ago that's never been finished off, and I would like to finish that off too. Okay, so how are we doing here? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I am just going to cut this off. Like that. Do you think it's going to work? I think so. Like that. Let's see. Just do it like this. All right. Okay, looks good. Good. Doesn't have to be perfect. a very straight cutter. I remember way back when, before I got married, back in the 70s. Oh dear. Oh. Oh shit. Okay, gotta make this quick. My phone just died. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I am just going to finish cutting this, and then I'll come back to you again, and I will make my third part. It's probably going to be a 4-parter, but the third part will be sandwiching it all together, and then pinning it and sewing and quilting it. Okay, so good talking. See you soon, and remember to thumbs up if you enjoy it, subscribe, doesn't cost you anything, leave me a comment, say hi, ask me what I'm doing, although I'm explaining, but you might have other hints, whatever, or just say hi. If you like what I'm doing, give me advice, whatever, as long as it's nice and sweet. All right, thanks again, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.